introduced to many subjects. You will be introduced to many subjects such as Maharat al-Muhadasah, Al-Adab al-Arabi, Maharat al-Kitabah, and etc. Alright, so sometimes we are not aware of our habits, whether it is good or bad, right? Now, for our very first segment, go big or go home. Inshallah, we will be discussing how to recognize your good and bad habits in order for you to be more decisive about your future. Without further ado, how about we ask our amazing speakers for their thought and viewpoint?
All right, the first question. Can you all take turns answering and sharing your method for overcoming your bad habits? And what is the biggest challenge that you face while you try to deal with it?
Thank you so much, Sister Fazrini, for the question. And thank you, Sister Shafika, the moderator. Assalamualaikum and hello, everybody. My name is Maya Sofia. So I am under the BEN course, which is Bachelor in English. So firstly, I would like to congratulate everyone. The SPM leaver is very late. Congratulations, but nonetheless, congratulations on finishing your SPM papers. That on its own is already a huge accomplishment. So props to everyone. Okay, so the question was overcoming bad habits and what's the biggest challenge while dealing with it. So for the first semester and second semester was fully online our foundation. So hopefully by later on, inshallah, korang juga nanti your foundation will be physical because physical is like super fun. So to overcome all the bad habits, I think my bad habit during online classes would normally be like checking through my phone and all the different distractions. Another thing would be loss of motivation. I think Sem 1 was already fine, but Sem 2, my motivation starts to decrease by then. So how I overcome that and the methods that I use, number one is when we are in a online class, I would really recommend to switch on your camera and really participate in class because number one, when you switch on your camera, you are aware of yourself. You're aware that other people are looking at you, so you tend to avoid doing anything that is not, allowed, like looking at your phones. So I think number one is really to just open your camera, and then number two would be also with distractions. It is a really good practice to limit your screen time because you now can do that on your phone. So set the limit on your phone with how long you could use your phone. So by limiting your screen time as well, you're able to focus a lot more. So that is all for me. That's how I think overcoming is just to make sure that you also that you always remember what your end goal with your studies, what do you want to achieve after your studies. Having that in the back of your mind would always be a constant reminder and a constant motivation for you to keep on studying and to stop any of your bad habits while you learn. What about you, Sister Akila? What about you?
All right, thank you, Sister Maya. Okay, my name is Akila binti Arifudin, and I am the only speaker here that is a bar student. So for me, I think my bad habits during learning or studying, I tend to always procrastinate, suka menangguh lah. But how I overcame this bad habit, setiap kali rasa macam tak apalah, lama lagi due, bersempat lagi nak buat tu, I will ingat balik kenapa saya pilih course ni. Macam I came from a science school, macam and pegang dengan teguh lah, dengan pegangan nak ambil juga language course. So you like this course, so you shouldn't take this course lightly lah, but instead you should try your best. So kena stop. Macam itu je motivation to keep to keep going. Walaupun macam sebab kat rumah kalau online class lagi rasa macam teruk nak menangguh tu sebab tak ada siapa nak push kita. Kawan-kawan pun tak ada, macam tak tahu kita buat apa sekarang ni. Okay, other than that, during online class, my sleeping schedule is very bad lah. Macam malam-malam tu paling awal tidur pun maybe pukul 1. Pukul 3 tu kira macam biasa tidur pukul 3 lah macam tu. So, bila masuk, macam mana saya nak overcome, instead of melawa waktu staying up late tu, I will try to do something yang berfaedah seperti try study, tengok balik apa yang dah belajar ataupun study balik apa yang akan belajar for next class. So dia tak adalah rasa macam kalau dah bela sangat sebab dah bangun, dah tidur sekejap kan, esoknya macam tak nak bagi fokus tu hilang. At least kita macam, oh semalam dah baca pasal ni, so maybe akan faham. I think that's all for me. I will pass this to Sister Shaz.
All right, thank you so much, Sister Akila, Sister Maya. Well, I'm Sister Shazrina, as she has said before. Well, since the moderator asked us about bad habits just now, well, we as humans, we are not exempt from bad habits because, bad habits are our flaws, and those flaws are what makes us human. So don't feel bad about having bad habits. Okay, everyone has them. As for mine, I suppose mine would be overworking myself. Yes, some people have laziness as their bad habits, and I have overworking myself. Well, to the brink of exhaustion, to my breaking point is literally my bad habit. So basically, the thing is, ever since I was in semester 1, I strive for, of course, like every other student out there, I wanted to excel, right? So I push myself a lot. I push myself staying up late at night, waking up at the first light of dawn only to study, and with all that focus on my studies alone, I seem to have forgotten to take care of myself, so it resulted in a lot of bad things like burnout, headaches, and such things. My mental health also went down because I kept focusing on my studies and I really forgot how to take care of myself. So basically, all I could say is, of course, your studies are important, but remember, there's this quote that really goes like, health is wealth, so please remember to take care of yourself soon. Sure, like everyone wants success, everyone wants recognition, things like that, but still, if you lose your health, if you lose your mental health, physical health, because you keep pushing yourself too hard, it would mean nothing at all in the end. So basically, please just remind to take care of yourself. Like sometimes treat yourself with something nice, get some rest, get enough sleep, make sure you eat on time and do things like that. I think that's all about it.
That is so great. I bet you all are taking notes from the sharing just now, right? Moving to the next question, I would like to ask, is there any simple good habit that you think many of us take lightly, but actually helps a lot in your journey as a language student?
Thank you, Sister Shafika, for that question. Okay, a simple good habit that we take lightly as a language student. I think as a language student, watching movies and TV series actually is something that we all do. And actually that actually helps us with our English or any language that you want to pursue. I think that really helps us. Even putting on subtitles, I think it really gives a major help because I picked up some words just from looking at subtitles. And just a disclaimer, kita masuk foundation in English, we're basically scratching the surface level of a language student. So I hope you guys, if you come into foundation in band, not necessarily you guys have to be 100% fluent in English, because there are people who aren't like 100% fluent and they're coping just fine because we learn and we improve as we go. But of course, it's a bonus if you are already fluent in English. So in band, we do not learn English, however, we learn about English. So that's one thing that for you guys to just keep a reminder of. So yeah, I think a really good habit as a language student is to just watch movies, watch series, and pick up from there. And in general, to be a good habit to pick up as a student in general is definitely waking up early in the morning. I think waking up early in the morning, you get to feel a lot more productive. And once you feel a lot more productive at the start of your day, the rest of your day would normally turn out smoothly. So yeah, waking up early in the morning would really make you productive. What about you, Sister Akila? What are the good habits?
I don't think that we many of us watching Arabic movies. So setakat ni lah, my friends yang kenal some, mostly cara diorang nak bagus, nak banyak vocab Arab. We are writing our own mukjam. Mukjam is dictionary, kamus. Semua orang yang ambil course ni ada kamus, but not everyone baca kamus setiap hari macam baca buku, right? So waktu kelas, time lecturer macam lecturer, some of the lecturers speak in Arab full or campur. So time tu lah lecturer akan bagi time dia, mereka cakap, mereka tahu perkataan yang kita baru tahu. Macam so when they use that word, they will tell us lah that this word is important. So kita orang akan tulis and then bacalah balik nota tu. And then this might apply to some of us, but it does not apply to me. Some of us like to create their own song when hafal antonym or synonym words in Arabic. So yeah, I guess it might help a lot of people, but it's not me lah. Tapi I guess that's all.
All right, thanks, Sister Akila. Well, basically, now it's my turn because like the other two speakers are done it. So, as for me, one good habit that, most people tend to like, not really focus on is, messing around on the internet. By that, I know like it sounds wrong, but just hear me out at first. Basically, when I say the internet, I mean something like social media or like, like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you guys still use. Since we're Gen Zs, we really use social media every day, no? Although I don't think anyone uses Facebook these days. Does anyone still use Facebook? I don't think so. Well, basically, for my personal experience, I spent a lot of time on the internet ever since I was a kid. I think I started, using the internet ever since I was like 7 or 8. I began very early, so please don't like feel so puzzled about it. I just got, I just had the privilege to. So basically, I have a lot of interests such as books, movies, anime, things like that. And through the internet, mainly Twitter, because I really like using Twitter, I managed to find a lot of people who share the interest with me. And those people are actually people from like other countries. So when they're from other countries, the only language we can use as media of our communication is English. So while actually, at the same time, while I'm like bonding with other people over our shared interests, at the same time, I could also like, improve my language and such, like learning new languages. I can also improve my vocabulary, those cliches. Basically, I know a lot of people say don't talk strangers on the internet, but trust me, if you are careful on the internet and you know the type of people you are going to interact with, you're going to be fine. Basically, try to like, just, reach outside of the box. So just stay inside your box. Like what's that Malay saying? Kata di bawah tempurung. I don't know, I'm sorry. My Malay is not the best, but basically go outside and explore. By go outside, I mean like the internet. If you want to go touch grass, that's fine. But basically just, reach out, come on, just explore around, meet new friends, acquaintances, and that's how you can gradually improve your English. Of course, like what Sister Maya said just now, not everyone is fluent in English here, but still, you have to be at least mediocre in English for you to actually, manage to survive here. Yeah. Many people think that the language course is easy, but trust me, it's not. It can be just as difficult as medicine, engineering, whatever other difficult courses out there. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, another question would be, what is your opinion about having bad habits? Do we have to get rid of it completely, or do we just have to control it? Please share your thoughts, dear speakers.
Okay, thank you. I think getting rid of bad habits completely would make us less humans because we humans are already fitrah kita. We already are having. We're supposed to be having good habits and bad habits. So to completely get rid of it will make us less humans. So I think to control it, what's important is to not let your bad habits define you and to not let it control you. Don't be that person where, oh, that's Maya, she's the person who always likes to procrastinate her work. Don't be that kind of person. So and once you're already like self-aware that what you're doing is a bad habit, that's already a step to the right direction because you have that sort of awareness in you. So once you always keep doing that sort of bad habit, you'll feel guilty, like, oh, okay, this is a bad habit that I have to stop. I have to stop. So, that's already a step to the right direction. And yeah, so getting rid of it completely shouldn't be the option. You just have to make sure to not let it control you. Sister Akila, what do you think?
I totally agree with Sister Maya because it is so hard to get rid of bad habit completely. Like susah kot nak stop menangguh tu kan sebenarnya, ataupun nak tidur awal pun susah juga sebenarnya. So we just have to control je lah as a human. Kadang-kadang being too perfect pun orang akan anggap pelik. So yeah, just like Sister Maya had bagi tahu tadi, kita tahu benda asalkan kita tahu benda tu salah and kita trying to be better, it's okay. Sebab benda bad habit ni kadang-kadang something yang boleh make us jadi lagi baik sebelum ni kan. Okay, Sister Shaz.
Alright, so about bad habits, either you control it or you get rid of it. Honestly, to me, let's just look at where bad habits specifically come from. So basically, bad habits stem from your thoughts. Basically, like maybe one day you're just like, after a long, tiring day, and so you have like an evening lecture, like let's just say at 4 or something, you're like, oh my goodness, I really don't want to go. So basically, that thought will gradually become like your mindset. You will gradually start skipping classes after that. And when you start doing it in routinely manner, it becomes your habit. And once it becomes a habit, it will gradually become your lifestyle. You become like a student who likes skipping classes. So think of it this way. If you want to control your habits, you have to start controlling your thoughts first. Like you had the urge to like procrastinate, like, oh, maybe I can do this later. No, do it immediately. Like, do not give in to the temptation. I know what, like, being a student is tiring and all, but sometimes you just need to have that self-control, basically. It's really, really difficult to get rid of bad habits, not going to lie. I mean, we're humans. Like I said earlier, we're not infallible. We have flaws, and those flaws are what defines us. So it's okay to have bad habits, all right? So basically, just about bad habits, all you can do is try to control them. I mean, if you can stop them, that would be good, but it takes a lot of effort. So just control them and don't let them be out of control, because otherwise it would start affecting others as well. So think of it that way.
That was totally astounding. Thank you so much for answering all those questions just now. I believe that we all learned a lot of new knowledge just now, right? I bet all of us had good and bad habits. Thus, I hope the amazing responses from our respective speakers explain and elaborate precisely to all of you about it. Well, sometimes we simply say we can do it when we haven't even tried it first. So we are supposed to always observe our habits in order to improve our lives and not deteriorate them. There are certain habits that we can use wisely in our life, and some of them we have to cope with to make our learning journey more successful. But don't worry, there are several segments upward that will clear up your confusion and cheer up our program today. Well, I am not wishing to waste our precious time. At this moment in time, we want to dig further into another beautiful speech on how to be the best language students. And now, let's ask our fellow speakers on how to find effective ways of learning in our next segment, Learning by Doing.
So just like before, we will give questions to the speakers and they will take turns answering us. Now for the first question, can you tell us about the best way in measuring in a language course using your learning style? For example, if you are an auditory person, how do you study by using that learning style?
Okay, thank you, Sister Faz. Okay, so I wouldn't say this would be the best way because everyone has their own separate learning style. And also that we shouldn't really, it must not necessarily for you to have a label on your sort of learning style. But for the sake of this program, I would consider my learning style to be a visual learner. And how that's possible is I would basically read back the slides given by my lecturers or the textbook or the notes that I've written or retyped, and I would remember where that section would be in the notes or slides. So later in exam, I would recall where is where. So it's a bit tricky and it's more like photogenic memory a bit. But that's what works for me. As a language student, I'm not sure if it's helpful or not. But since we are still at the surface of a language student, we are more to literature and linguistics. To me, I think linguistics is a lot more memorization and literature would be a lot more of understanding. So for linguistics, of course, you need to understand. And I think there are some parts where you have to memorize a bit. And with being a visual learner, I think memorization will be a lot easier using visual learning style. Ms. Akila, for a bar, how about you? What kind of learning style do you use?
I'm an auditory person. So for me, online class ni bukan benda yang susah sangat lah sebenarnya sebab most of the lecturers will record their class. So kalau macam time class kita macam tak dengar, tak jelas macam since the lecturer will talk in Arab, right? So kalau recording, I like to repeat what they have said again. So kalau sampai berjam pun macam sanggup lah untuk dengar balik semata-mata nak catch up the words what they have said semua tu. And then asalnya kalau dalam kelas lagi seronok lah kot for us auditory to always participate in class actively lah. So kalau time online, I will always ask the lecturer whenever they ask ada soalan tak. So macam tanya je terus and then for me it will be easier lah kalau face to face nak tanya macam tak adalah malu, tak adalah malas nak sampai butang on mic semua tu. So and then I like to study in a group better than study myself sebab belajar bila tak faham seorang-seorang tu dia jadi rasa lagi frust. Lagi as a language student, kita tak faham benda tu sekarang jadi sesat pula apa kita faham lain dengan apa orang lain faham. So it is my opinion. How about you, Sister Shaz?
All right. Thank you, Sister Akila, Sister Maya. Well, I have to admit that I don't really have an answer to this question because out of all the learning styles that are my dominant one, that is my dominant one, it just had to be the one learning style that is not exactly visible for a language student, which is the kinesthetic learning style. If you guys have no idea what the kinesthetic learning style is, it's basically a hands-on kind of learning style. So basically, I would strive in laboratories, doing experiments, enjoying with like trying to manipulate the variables and such. But since I'm a language learner, I'm trying my best actually to maintain my grades and such because, well, how do I say this? Like a lot of subjects of the language, band for me, is kind of like technical. So like there's no such thing as experiments or anything, it's just long hours in classrooms and stuff like that. So like if you're a visual or auditory learner, I think you're quite lucky if you got into bar or band. But for me as a kinesthetic learner, I just have to cope. Like some of my favorite methods of doing this is kind of like, some of my ways, like how do I study using this learning style is by, like if let's just say there's like a paragraph of information in front of me, rather than trying to like, just memorize everything, I would simply like make questions in my head and then I try to like, I look for answers in the paragraph. So like basically I just simply, predict the questions at first and find out answers myself. And that way it's actually very helpful for tests, especially physical ones or online ones, actually just tests. So like, yeah, I can't say much about this, but yeah.
Wow, all of you have such a creative way of learning. I hope I can apply it to my studies too. Thank you for your explanation. We truly appreciate it. Okay, now the next question will be since when did you realize your specific learning style? And what are your current favorite activities in studying using your learning style?
Thank you, Sister Shafika. Okay, so realizing specifically my learning style, I think I've always been a visual learner ever since SPM. I've been doing my notes, just looking back at slides and memorizing. That's how I've learned, and that's what works for me. But I think it also depends on the type of subject. Like for example, in band we have a public speaking subject, and for that, as a visual and taking notes and looking at notes, that's not really that helpful in public speaking. Because public speaking, you have to speak and you have to practice it with other people and do practice it lah with your friends, and you have to record yourself and you listen back what you're saying. However, for the linguistic subjects like basic structure of language or foundational linguistics, those I am able to apply as a visual learner, where I look at the slides, where I look at my notes, and yeah, and I think it differs to a lot of people. And the best way I like to study, like favorite activities that I'm studying, is actually listening to music. I cannot study when everything is silent. I cannot concentrate. I have to have some sort of background music. I'm not sure for you guys if you guys feel that way as well, but I have a lot of friends who are able to really concentrate when they listen to rock metal music. I also have friends who listen to classical music. So it's very, very vast and very different for everybody. And I think, you just have to try and error, try and test what works for you. Sister Akila, what about you?
For me, when did I realize my specific learning style? I think since I take this course lah waktu first online class start in first sem, sebab time sekolah dulu pernah jugalah try buat ujian yang visual auditory dengan kinesthetic ni, counselor suruh buat, and I was a kinesthetic person. Rasanya itu sebab waktu dekat sekolah macam banyak kerja bergerak dan presentation, and then semua belajar juga subjek sains, bio, fizik, chemistry semua tu. So dia macam buatkan rasa macam belajar subjek yang bahasa pun tak banyak sangat. So maybe that's why waktu tu sekarang dah berubah sebab once dah masuk course ni, since everyone macam time sekolah macam background macam dah hebat-hebat kan, dah belajar Arab lah untuk subjek ni, belajar Arab. Tapi Kila just belajar Arab untuk subjek bahasa Arab je. Macam subjek PAI ke semua lain tu macam bahasa lain, bahasa Melayu juga. So maybe sebab Kila dah struggle macam time sem 1, sem 2 untuk macam dengar balik recording semua tu. Dia buatkan jadi macam, tu dah jadi my own way lah nak study benda tu. That's why I think maybe my favorite activities instead of I read the notes, I lagi suka dengar balik recording untuk study untuk study semua tu. I think that's for me.
All right, thank you. For now, kinesthetic learners and language. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually pretty much a challenge for me trying to adapt to something new, because I was actually a science kid in high school back then. Like full science, biochemistry, physics, ed maths, you name it, I have it. Basically, all my schooling years were all about experiments. So I guess that's why I was actually striving. I was slaying in high school actually, but nowadays I don't have experiments. So I'm just trying to, make things work on my own. Like I did mention just now, like how I would ask myself questions, right, on how to for me to to memorize things. I ask myself questions basically. Wait, I actually forgot the main question. The main question was about how I found out about my learning styles. It's basically all right. So I'm a kinesthetic learner. I was actually pretty curious about it like a few years ago, because I'm not exactly the type of, the model student you expect me to be. Like, while other kids beside me were doing notes, we're discussing with our friends, I get bored easily and distracted in class. I would like simply be not writing notes, I would simply writing stories in my notebook, or sometimes I even sleep in classes. So like, yeah, my high school years were quite an experience. So basically, I got curious and I was like, all right, let's find out what learning style do I have exactly. Only to find out I'm a kinesthetic learner, and that explains why I love experiments so much. Like, whenever I heard like we're gonna have experiments like in our next class for biology, chemistry, physics, I got like so excited. I was really the most excited person in class. So like nowadays, since I don't have experiments anymore, I'm trying my hardest to cope. But one of the ways for me to like keep on, because kinesthetic is all about like movements and stuff like that. I tend to fidget a lot. Like you see, I'm wearing rings right now. It actually helps, keep me focused and grounded to what I'm doing right now. And other than that, my hands just never stop moving. Maybe if I'm listening to something, I'll be writing down in my notebook. Maybe I'll do notes, but sometimes I write stories as well. I remember back then at home when I was learning online classes, because we had online classes for the first 2 semesters. I had a Rubik's cube that I play with during the lectures. So like it helps me like stay focused, and at the same time I could stay, moving. So that's how it keeps me grounded, and as long as I'm moving, I'm fine. So like, if you guys are kinesthetic learners, don't worry, not all hope is lost. You will find your way to cope with this. You can like tap your hands on the table or anything, color code your notes, anything really. Trust me, you can adapt to this. So yeah, that's it.
I see. That was kind of amusing, actually. Thank you so much for that beautiful answer. Now, let's jump into another question. Is it possible to have more than one learning style? And if yes, may all of you share what is the best way to apply it in our learning process?
Okay, thank you, Sister Faz. Now, definitely you can have more than one. Like I said previously, I think it's different for different subjects, your way of learning. And again, your learning style doesn't even have to have a label on it. You can mix even being a visual and auditory or kinesthetic. It's your style of learning, what works for you. So to make sure what works best for you is you have to try and error, test and error. Which kind of style are you more comfortable with and best way to apply in your learning process, you just have to tengok lah. Like if you're a visual learner, are you more comfortable with hearing and you're concentrating in class more, or are you the type to keep on writing back your notes over and over again? Because again, as I'm a visual learner, I could also be an auditory learner, because in class I tend to focus a lot more in class, and then I wouldn't really revise back what I studied because I already understood back in class. So certain subjects works for me, and certain subjects I don't really concentrate in class, but then I do my own revision by looking back at the notes and rewriting back the notes and memorizing. Just Akila?
It's very possible to have more than one learning style. Since I used to be a kinesthetic person, so ada jugalah certain class yang macam bukanlah boring, tapi macam lecture yang jenis bercakap and tapi tak refer kepada note yang kita yang slide ke apa. I still macam try to keep focus and macam tak tidur ke tak mengantuk. Same like Sister Shaz, I will ambil lah satu kedua rubrics and try to settle it. Lepas tu kalau dah siap mes balik semua tu. So it has, as long as I tak tidur time kelas and I dengar apa yang lecturer cakap semua tu. So tapi orang tengok macam tak fokus ke dia ni kan, kalau kat rumah tu macam dia ni belajar ke tak belajar sebenarnya, tapi sebab macam nak hilangkan mengantuk kan, tak nak bagi ni, tak nak bagi secara secepat bosan semua tu. I think it's very possible.
Yeah, but honestly, Sister Akila has said like almost everything I had in mind. So basically, I mean, like she was a kinesthetic learner, so like, yeah, it makes sense when she said everything I had to say. But basically, yeah, it is obviously possible for you to have like more than one learning style. Because like, if you were to like take an online learning style quiz, test, whatever it's called, you will find out that it's not that it will only show you like one result and like you're only an auditory learner. No, it will show you like all the types of learning styles and the percentages, and the highest percentage is obviously your dominant one. And you have the second highest, third highest, whatever. So basically, I honestly don't remember what was my second or third highest, but basically about like having multiple learning styles is you can take a test to find out exactly, because it's quite important for you to know like what's like this learning style, so that you can actually like, study to the maximum efficiency and you can absorb the most information in the most comfortable way possible, like a way that's tailor-made for you. So basically, let's just say like if you're an auditory learner, you can probably like sit through a 5-hour lecture without sleeping. I have mad respect for you auditory learners. And visual learners should probably like, rewatch lectures, or like go to YouTube and watch videos, or even like go outside and go meet people, learn something from them. Kinesthetic learners, go have fun laboratories, please. Like honestly, if it's coming from a kinesthetic learner who was a science student, I am actually passionate about English, but honestly it'll be much easier for me, a kinesthetic learner, to go into a lab and do experiments. So yeah, I'm not discouraging you kinesthetic learners from joining English. No, don't misunderstand, but it's more like kinesthetic learners are made for like experimenting, creating things with your hands. It's all about movements, really, about art, it's about drama. So yeah, that's about that. Think about it.
I also like to add something I forgot to add on. It doesn't matter what kind of learning style you guys do, as long as you have passion in that subject. That's, I think, number one. As long as you have passion in that subject, any learning style would work for you. So yeah, make sure that's important. Okay.
Exactly. I just want to like add on a bit more before we end this part. Basically, you when you're applying for your college applications, just think carefully, all right? Is it the course that you want, like the course that you're deciding on, is it something that you want or others expect of you to take? So like just think carefully, like, because this is something that you'll be doing your entire life, and it will eventually involve other people, especially if you work with humans, such as in medic, for example. Like medic was one of my choices, not gonna lie, but when I got English, I was like, I thought about it real hard, or like, is it because it's what I want, like I truly want, or is it because it's what others expect of me? Because I was a science kid, remember? So yeah, that's the story of how I ended up in English, because I didn't change courses at all. I decided I'll be happy, much happier here. So like, think about it properly, like, disregarding your learning style, like, let's not think about that at all. Just think about like, is it something that you can do, or is it that something that you want to do for the rest of your life? Just remember that, all right? That's all.
Subhanallah, the response was indeed so impressive. I guess all of us had heard about learning styles before, right? Besides, each of us has a different learning style. So it is up to us to determine our best learning way to have the best outcome. Don't ever feel down if you cannot learn the way your friend does. It is a normal thing, and differences make us more special if we apply them wisely in our life. We even can exchange more opinions with other friends and explore new things through our learning style.
Seriously, this program has become more and more interesting, and I'm really sure that all of you can't wait for the next segment, and so do I.
Now, we are moving forward to our most awaited segment. Well, as you can see, there are a few IIUM lecturers who are willing to join our enjoyable program tonight, and I introduce them to you, Mr. Ma'an Ahmad Khalid, a lecturer from BAR, and Madam Anis Izzati from Banner.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we are very sure that our amazing lecturers here also have a lot of things to share with us. Key to Foundation will be our next segment. With the involvement of the lecturers in this segment, surely we add some spice to our program. Well, to continue with our segment, we will ask our honorable lecturers a question and they will answer it. The question sounds like this. As a lecturer yourself, can you share with us what lecturers usually expect from the SPM leavers before majoring in language?
So who speak first, me?
Yes, Ustaz.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. Welcome to this program. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, everyone, committee, student who speak before. Thank you very much, all. Okay, what we expect from the student before joining us. Student, before joining us, please choose carefully. Means don't choose a program because maybe your family want, or someone maybe, or your friend in that program, you want to be with your friend. Because in the end, we have a lot of cases when students regret joining their programs. I'm not talking about bar, I'm talking about any program. Okay, this program, when you choose, it means you already decide your future. So before you decide your future, think carefully. What do you want to be in the future? What you like to be? What you like to do? What is your skills? What is your ability? Okay, put all this together. Then you choose the program that you are going to study when you come to CFS. Okay. The job, sometimes, for example, students think about job, which program is better job. There is no program is better job. So all the jobs, all the programs can have a job. It depends on many things. First, it is rizqi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second, it is your ability, your skills. I give you an example. Some students, when they join UIA, they master the English language, they master the Arabic language, they go through the all programs and all workshops that UIA provide. They got a benefit from it. When they graduate with a lot of ability. So that's why companies will be very happy to hire them. Because when you have a student graduate with speak Arabic, English, and Malay, and have computer skills, communication skills, teamwork skills, all these things, definitely easy to find a job. But if you graduate from UIA and when they call you for interview, job interview, okay, you are going, for example, you are going to speak broken language, broken Arabic or broken English, even sometimes broken Malay language, definitely no company will give you a job. So that's why job in the future, it depends on your ability, your skills. Are you going to work hard when you study or not? All this will decide your future and your job. So that's why don't think about that now. Think now, what do you want to be first? Do you want to be, for example, an engineer? Or you want to be, for example, a psychiatrist? Or you want to be a journalist? Or you want to be what? What do you want to be? So when your mind is clear, this is my area. I'm going to major, for example, a language. I like language. I would like to work with the language in the future, and then come to the Arabic department or English department and choose your program, and you can join us. Otherwise, don't take the risk because my friend is there and my friend I want to be with my friend. Or because your family want you to study Arabic because of the Quran, they want you to be close to the religion. They ask you to study, for example, Arabic language. Please don't do that. Because in the end, you are going to suffer maybe in the future. Maybe you are not going to do well. And some student in the middle of the program, they want to change the program. Why? They said, because I did not find myself here. So if you did not find yourself here, why you choose from the beginning? Mean from the beginning, your choice was not good. So that's why our advice to all the students before come to CFS, please choose carefully. And if you choose any program, don't worry, job is not that difficult. Because, okay, last time UIA do a survey, pay a money to a company to do a survey to follow all UIA graduated to see how they got job. What they find? They find there is no program is better than others. Okay, they find all the programs because we have some people, they graduate from medicine and they are jobless. And they find some students graduate from engineering and they are jobless. So there's some students graduated from human science and still jobless. Jobless not because the certificate is not good, but because of the person. Actually, it depends on the person. Okay, himself. Okay, he graduated from medicine, and he don't like to be a doctor, and he did not study well, and he don't like that area. That's why he cannot work as a doctor. That's why he is jobless. You got it? Okay, so that's why don't think about you are getting job or not, because inshallah, Malaysia job opportunity is good, especially for Malaysian. And then if the economy develop and improve, definitely the job opportunity will be better and better. So it is not a big deal. But what is a big deal? Choose what you like. Choose what is good for your ability, your skills. If you do that, inshallah, you are going to be a good student in CFS. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone for staying, and I've listened to amazing things shared by our students today. So the question was, as a lecturer yourself, can you share with us what lecturers usually expect from SPM leavers before majoring in language? As for the English language, it is important for all of our students when coming in to band program that you are comfortable conversing, discussing, expressing opinions in the English language or the Arabic language. That being said, your grammar must be good, your choice of word must be wide, yeah, and you have, your one of your favorite hobbies is reading. So this is extremely important for us, yeah, because like I would like to quote Maya just now, and she said, when you come into Banel, you're not going to learn language, right? You are here to learn about the language. You are here to, for us to brush your skills, and then hopefully you'll shine on your own. That's the most important part. But let's say I've been teaching for quite some time, and I see different types of students. When they come in, they have a lot of passion. They have this true interest toward learning English, right? The English language, literature, and so on. So what happens, sometimes these students, they don't have the best English language grammar foundation, for example. Yeah, some of them, of course, we also understand that these students, we are all, especially in Malay, for Malays, our first language is not the English language. Our second language is English. Our first language is Malay language. Therefore, so what do we do to these students? Yeah. At the same time, if we see students, okay, who are still trying to polish their grammar, yeah, trying to improve, to increase, to widen their vocabulary, right? We also celebrate students who work hard. We also celebrate students who focus in class. We also celebrate students who strive, who have the ambition towards the end. Yeah, so that is very important for us as well. Let's say if you feel like, for these SPM leavers, if you feel like, okay, I have this interest, passion is extremely important, right? Because like Shazrina said and mentioned just now, you're doing this for the rest of your life. This is going to determine your future, and it's going to involve other people as well. Therefore, it is extremely important for all of us, yeah. I mean, I'm still doing English, right? Mustama is still doing Arabic, and all of you are still doing language, yeah. We are doing English right now and language. So it is important for us to have that passion. Whatever happens to you, you are able to overcome it. Yeah. So let's say if you're not good enough, if you know yourself you are not good enough, therefore you must strive towards it. You have to work really hard. And I myself come from that place. Right, being a Kelantanese, it's very hard for me to, I did not learn from international school. I was studying in Kelantan and so on. Therefore, I don't have accent. And back in the 90s, I don't have the luxury of media. Like, for example, movies, songs, and so on. They are all quite limited. So what did I do, right? So the most important thing is always put extra effort to what you want to do. When you are, somewhat this is what we believe. When we are chosen, by UPU, saying that, okay, Anis Izzati, English language major, IUM, it is destined to you. You have to understand that. And when we are given that opportunity, you have to take it, you have to grab it and work towards it. Yeah, we don't want to see students halfway through and decided not to pursue. Right? We want to have students that have burning passion towards to what they want, not just in English language, not just in Arabic language, but also for other subjects as well. Thank you.
Wow, how I wish I knew all of this before I went to the university. Okay, brothers and sisters, do take note and make sure you excel in your study.
Next, as we all realize now that in our country, the job opportunities for some courses or fields are getting smaller and smaller. Hence, what do you think is the job scope that is suitable or highly requested in this field of language?
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First, I did not agree with the question itself because the job opportunity is not getting smaller, actually, it's going bigger and bigger. So the job is not become smaller, actually. Okay, why is that? Okay, every day new technology, every day new area of knowledge, every day new type of product. So the job opportunity is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. But the problem is not with the job. The problem with the the performance of the government sometimes, because the government did not do well. So that's why we have some problem. But the job is still there. I give you an example. Why we expect all Malaysians to work in Malaysia? Why not Malaysian go and work overseas, right? So it means if I am looking for a job is not necessary to be in Malaysia. Job can be anywhere if I have skills, if I have a good certificate, if I have international language, and I have very good knowledge. So then I can work anywhere. And then maybe my income will be more if I go overseas. Okay, that's why what I'm trying to say, when you are looking for job is depend on you. It's not depend on others. You are the one who is going to find a job for yourself. So if you provide yourself, weapon yourself with the skills, with knowledge, with all what is necessary to get job, people will be happy to give you the job first. Second, you can do your own business. So now people don't like to work with the government or companies anymore. They like to be freelancer. Why? Because I am controlling myself. Why I should work under the other people? So that's why when you come to this one, when you come to study in UIA, put in your mind all these things. Okay, you want to work after you graduate, you have to build yourself, prepare yourself. UIA will provide you opportunity, a lot of programs, a lot of workshop, a lot of international stuff, a lot of good Malaysian stuff, business mentality. You will find everything in UIA. Okay, you need you, okay, to stop playing games, to stop consuming your time on social media, and use the time, use the power, use the mind Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give to you to develop yourself, to develop your skills, and then you can get a good job. So regarding to Arabic language, the opportunity for job in Arabic language is very wide. Why is very wide? First, we have 22 Arabic countries. So now Malaysia doing business with 22 Arabic countries. And just imagine the opportunities is open to you to work with 22 different countries. Okay, what first? Second, Arabic language is the language of all Muslims around the world. So if you speak Arabic language, you can communicate with a lot of Muslims, even the non-Arab, okay, around the world. And that language will give you an international space. Means you can do business not only in Malaysia, but also you can do business outside Malaysia. So the job opportunity is a lot. And also, if you observe now, Arabic community in Malaysia become very big. So we have a lot of Arab in Malaysia, and there is a lot of Arabic shops, restaurants, companies, business between Arab and Malaysia become very, very strong. All this one will give you, for example, Petronas. Petronas now have a huge project in Saudi Arabia, in Iraq, in United Arab Emirates, in New Sudan, in Algeria. And just imagine, this is a huge project waiting you. Why? Because Petronas need a people who can speak Arabic to take the job in Petronas in Middle East. Now what they do, I know a lot of Arab working with Petronas. Why? Because they speak Arabic. So if Petronas find a Malaysian who speak Arabic, definitely the priority will go for him or for her, not for the Arab, right? So you can take that job, which is actually meant for you. But now Arab working or Arabic people working is that. Why? Because there is no Malaysian feeling that what call that job. So that's why the job is a lot, really a lot. Translation now is a huge opportunity for everyone to. Why? Because the trading and the culture mix between Arab and Malaysia become a lot. So they need, for example, tourism. Malaysia now is a center of tourism. Now, last 2 years, of course, because of COVID-19. But before COVID-19, Malaysia was a center of tourism. Every year, there is more than 1 million Arab come to Malaysia. And those people, when they come to Malaysia, they need someone to speak Arabic with them, to entertain them, to take them to restaurant, to in the hotels, in the resort, in the, all these shops, they need someone who speak Arab. So now when you talk about the opportunity with working with Arabic language, definitely it is not that difficult. So easy to find a job with Arabic language. But in the end, I repeat, it depends on you. If you graduate from UIA with a broken language, no one will give you the job. So you need you. Please use your time in UIA to be professional, provide you with not only language, other skills, because now job with one professional is not enough. Make another skills, learn another skills, try to go to another field, try to do minors, provide yourself with all these skills, and job opportunity, inshallah, will be very good for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samad. As for me, when you ask me, what do I do, madam? Like after I graduate, what should I do? What should I be? I always, this is the kind of questions that we get. Like, for example, from our, makcik-makcik bawang. You're majoring in English. You're going to be a teacher, right? You're going to be teaching at school, right? I always like to think that language majors, we are a dynamic person. Yeah, we are dynamic. We can do this at the same time. Yeah, when I list this, imagine yourself doing it and everything, you can do this, everything at the same time. You can, be a journalist, you can be a writer, you can be a publisher, you can also help people, take people for tours. You can also go into the corporate world, into communication, into being ambassador. I have a friend currently right now. She was IUM alumni, a panel as well, and she is currently an officer at the US Embassy Kuala Lumpur. So this is something that we don't know. Before this, we don't know. Before this, we thought English majors are only going to be teachers. Boring, kan? But there are other opportunities in this whole wide world, right? So I have a friend who's currently working for the PDRM, Polis Diraja Malaysia, as a forensic linguist. Yeah, so she analyzes death notes. She analyzes notes from criminals, the style that they use to write, the choice of word that they use, right? So these are all very powerful stuff, right? So this is something that you guys can look out for. So don't think, you got into panel, you're going to be a teacher, As for myself, even when I'm teaching, I'm always planning to be a writer, to publish books, to journal. This is something that I always wanted to do. So think big, guys. Think big. The opportunity, the whole world is for you, right? So I also would like to repeat what Dr. Ma'at said just now. If you go out there and you claim yourself as I am student, but you speak broken language, then it is not, then you have to understand it has to come from you. You have to work towards it, right? So please, use your time at IUM to improve. Yeah, we have international students. I also would like to add on the kinesthetic part. As for linguistics, as for linguists, we believe that we're only going to have to memorize these terms and so on. So what did I do? I was like, no, that's not going to be like the only options, because we are at the International Islamic University, So what did I do? I tested out. I interviewed students from other countries. He's speaking British English, but this guy, he's speaking Singaporean English. This guy is speaking Australian English. What are the difference between these Englishes? So this is how you test out. This is how you test out. You are not just going to understand the cases of Genie and so on, but you need to test it out, because we are at the international setting. Use it wisely. All right.
All right, now that we are in the job or working topic, may we ask you this question, Ustaz Madam? What makes you choose this job? I mean, what makes you choose to be a lecturer specifically in this field?
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, I will be honest with you. In the beginning, when I was 18 years old, I have no choice, because at that time in Iraq, we have a central center, which is based on your mark in the high school. So they send you to the university. I mean, I will not choose. In my time, there is no ability to choose my major, because I just go to the exam, and after the exam, when the result come out, they put it in the central center, and central us divide us to the university. So I go to that area, is not my choice. So it is the government with me there. So I have no choice. Anyway, so at that time, when I go there, I study Islamic studies. So when I graduate from Baghdad University, Kuliya Sharia, Islamic studies, bachelor in comparative religion. Then after that, I came to Malaysia. I joined UIA. This was in 1992. I joined UIA as a student, as a master student. So at that time, I have two choices. I have to go to Islamic studies, or I change my direction, because UIA always gives that opportunity. So if you want to change, still you have opportunity to change in UIA. So the program is flexible. So what I did, I changed to education, Arabic as a second language. So I got a master in Arabic as a second language. Why? Because I find that area, it's well needed in Islamic world. Why? Because all the Muslim, we have now around 2 billion Muslim around the world, and all of them, they want to learn Arabic. So, and then if I am as Arab, and I can major in teaching Arabic for non-Arab, I find that it will be a good opportunity for me to serve the Ummah. So that's why I changed from comparative religion to Arabic as a second language. And Alhamdulillah, I managed to get the master. And after I graduated, immediately I got the job. In 1996, I got the job in UIA. And since that time till today, I'm working here. I am really happy. So I am doing well, Alhamdulillah. Now students who graduate or study with me and graduate is over 1,000 students. I think maybe 2,000 maybe now, Allahu Alam, but really a lot. Anywhere I go, I find people give me salam. How are you, Ustad? I don't know them. They said, oh, we were your student. We were your student. So Alhamdulillah, this make me happy. Why? Because I feel so that I already did a good job, because when I find all these people, last 2 weeks, I was renewing my visa. So immigration asked me to go to Institute Terjuman Malaysia to translate a document. So I went there. So I give that to secretary, and secretary go call the translator. And then she said there is a person. So she sent a document to him. When he read my name, he called me. Oh, Ustad, I am your student. I'm going to translate your document. Alhamdulillah, he's my student and he's working as a translator in Institute Terjemahan Malaysia. So make me happy, feel happy, make me feel that I really did my job. I already, managed to help a lot of people to achieve their goals. So teaching is a noble what's called job. Teaching is the job of the messenger of Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the messengers to teach people. Salary, not really good, but a reward from Allah, psychological satisfaction, very high. So if you have qana'a, if you have rida, and you are going to be really happy. But as I said, and as also Madam Anis said, that majoring a language does not mean you'll be a teacher. Because now, with the language and other skills, you can do any other job. So the whole world is for you. You choose the sector you want to work in. But if you are professional in the language, then everyone will welcome you to work with them. But as a teacher, I am very happy. And Alhamdulillah. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
As for me, I always know that I wanted to pursue English, linguistics and literature, no matter what. I'm quite loyal and beguile in that sense. And I would like to focus more on why I am here at IUM. You can learn English elsewhere. It is offered elsewhere as well, whether it be IPTA, IPTS, or abroad. But specifically, I wanted to learn, study, work, pursue, hopefully pursue more at IUM, because I always feel that IUM is a safe bubble. We are a Muslim, not just a Muslim. We want to, always, have this, get Allah's blessings, to be a better Muslim. We're not just majoring in English, but we also want to strive for His forgiveness and so on. So it is always important for me to become a better Muslim, to be in an international setting, for me to get to know a lot of people. And at the same time, teaching is always something that I like, and it is almost natural to me. But like I mentioned just now, teaching is not the only option. You can always do something else. Everything, as long as you are good in language, you are confident in using it, you're able to converse, to communicate confidently, inshallah, you'll be there, right? So no matter what you do, no matter what the world was trying to do to you, but as long as you have the passion, inshallah, you'll be just fine. And as for me, I think I'm not just going to be a teacher, a lecturer, but also I'm going to pursue my other dreams, like for example, to be a journalist, to be a writer, to be a book publisher, to be a researcher. So as a language major, we are not just constrained to being a teacher, not just to be a teacher, but also to do other awesome things, right? So language opens a lot of things, opens the roads to many possibilities. So think of it as something that is interesting, an opportunity for you to become and grow into a better Muslim. We're not just going to be, better human, but I've always have IUM in my heart, that IUM is a safe bubble. I'd like to see, I like to live in this, Islamic community. It is important for me. And then in an international setting, I don't have the luxury, or the time to travel abroad. It's not easy for me. So I think being at the international university is a very good opportunity for me. I hope you guys feel the same way as well. Thank you.
I'm sure that the grade wasn't worth sharing just now. It is absolutely extraordinary. Thank you so much to our beloved lecturers for spending their time giving a very mesmerizing answers just now. It is a great honor to be with both of you in this session. and I sincerely hope that this sharing can benefit us and will help all of us to be a better language student.
Undeniably, we should be on the trail with certain preparation for our mental and physical health before we get our feet into CFS IIUM as outstanding, incredible, and charismatic language major students.
I highly believe that CFS IIUM will be the one and only platform to unleash your potential and discover your deepest secret talent. Now, that was only part of the story, as we have another segment that will fully need your engagement to discuss your preparation as well. In this segment, Rise to the Challenge, we will be discussing the possible challenges of being a student, and everyone will be given the chance to let out their curiosity to ask the speakers about whatever worries that you might have to face as a student who majors in languages in CFS IIUM. And of course, our respective speakers will share their experiences with you.
My dear speakers, before we jump into the curiosity of the audience, let me ask you some questions. So this is the most common question a student or a human itself can ask. Okay, so how do you deal with social anxiety or test anxiety, especially during online classes? And now currently you guys are staying on the campus, right? So please share with us, how do you guys deal with it?
Thank you so much, Sister Faz. Okay, so I do not think I am the correct person to answer this question, as I do not think I deal with social anxiety. Now, listen, it's not, I wouldn't necessarily call it social anxiety, more to just nervousness. However, because I'm very participative in classes, especially online classes, I would be the type to switch on my camera, to switch on my mic, and yeah, so I'm not really the correct person to answer how to deal with social anxiety. But I think my tip is to just start slowly. First, like when you attend a online class, you could just open your mic if you have any questions, or you could just give a response to your lecturers or to your teachers. And then from then, if you see your friends switching on your camera, join them, because when you join your friends on camera, it's a lot of fun and it make the class a lot more exciting. Now, especially in physical classes, when you get to see the lecturers physically, I think it's also a lot more fun to just engage with your friends. And for test anxiety, now I feel like that's normal. I think everyone gets nervous before test, before an exam. The other day, we had our first physical test after a really, really long time. And to even go to an exam hall, it was really intimidating at first. But then once remember, you've learned, you already did your best in learning, and you just try to do your best. And I think that you just have to remember to stay calm no matter what. And once you've already put in effort, God will ease your way. What about you, Sister Akila?
I think this question is also not for me lah. Sebab I am one of those that you might call as a social butterfly, since I'm the one who always reach out to others first. So macam kalau since that we have sit for an online class for 2 whole semesters, right? So bila tahu macam sem 3 dah nak masuk, dia instead of rasa anxious, dia lagi rasa macam excited nak jumpa semua orang. So dah lama sangat terperak dekat dalam rumah tu. But I think I can give some advice, sebab ada je coursemates or classmates yang memang terlalu macam mana, takut orang macam tu. So if you have friends or you are like this, I think just think of it, just think of this as a new learning environment lah. Since dah 2 sem dia dekat rumah, so macam ambil, grab this chance. And talking about interest with others, maybe just to rapatkan ukhuwah, even though it's only for 1 sem. Um, I can relate so much about the social anxiety or test anxiety, and I'm also one of those that open the camera first and unmute my mic. But I think Sister Shaz might have different opinion about this question. So Sister Shaz, tafadhali.
All right. Thank you, both of you. Yes, I have to admit my opinion is completely different from theirs. I envy the both of you for actually not having any form of anxiety, because how? That's why I say how. Maybe it's because it's something that runs in my family, like I've been diagnosed with anxiety in middle school, and honestly, it explains everything, because it has something to do with me being like, being a high achiever means like you have a lot of expectations placed on you, hopes to fulfill, like, expectations from other people. So it's like kind of gets too much at times. So before I continue, I'll be talking about my own personal experience, and I just want to let each and every one of you know that it's okay to not be okay. Like it's like the K-drama title, but I'm not quoting the K-drama right now, but let me tell you, it's fine for you to have anxiety. It's fine for you to have mental health concerns. It's okay for you to be anxious, be depressed. Just it's normal. It's part of human nature anyway. So the questions are something like, how do we deal with social anxiety or tests? I think it's more to performance anxiety. For like on campus and online. Basically, I didn't face as much pressure as I did at home compared to on campus, because at home everything's more relaxed. I mean my safe like my mother calls it my cave. Basically, I stay there all day, just scrolling through my laptop, attending lectures. I have no problems with online classes, because like there's no physical people in front of me. It's just the camera, me in my room, showing me like my safe place, my safe haven. So like, like since I'm the one who turns on the camera, the one who answers first, like that type of student. But when I got the news that we're going to campus, I literally freak out. Like I was in a hotel room at the time, and I just went like, no, oh my god, I don't want this. Basically, that's how I reacted. But more dramatic. I'm just trying to reenact that scene. But because basically it's been like 2 semesters. One semester is like how many months? I think it's 3 months. 3 months per semester. So it's like 1.5. No, like 1/2 of a year like online, and suddenly you have to be dragged back to campus, and you're like, why? Oh my god, why? Because like I don't know, it's just like it's been so long since I have been like in a competitive environment. Like my high school back then experience, like it was such a very, very competitive environment. Like if you do not strive, you will immediately fall back. Like you will immediately be left out. Seriously. So like whatever I did back then, it's all about competing. It's about pushing yourself beyond your limits, beyond your breaking point. So like this is like a whole like it took me back all the way to the past. I mean, just like, oh my goodness. But hey, it's like my 3rd week on campus, and I think things are actually going better than expected. Because like, how do I deal with social anxiety? Like social anxiety is quite I think it's quite common, although people don't really talk about this because it's quite the taboo in our society. I mean, we are living in Malaysia even more, where mental health things aren't exactly something you talk about every day. If you do, people think you're crazy or like psycho. You need to be shown into like Tanjung Rambutan or something, right? So basically, my social anxiety is not like to the point where I'm shaking all the time, but it's more like when I'm talking to people, like my new friends, I'll be thinking like, oh my god, do I sound stupid to them? Do I look okay? Is everything all right? Are they judging my every move? It's like there's all these intrusive thoughts being so loud in your brain. So basically, I'm an introvert at the same time. So I will usually just try to like, if I need to interact with other people, it's why I keep it like short and sweet. Like I just like be direct and got what I want, and I cut the conversation there. I mean, like, plus being an introvert means I don't really have the energy to talk with people most of the time. I get more energy from spending time alone, and that's about social anxiety, because I don't want to talk too much about that, because like my anxiety leans more towards performance anxiety. Like I said before, my high school was a highly competitive environment. Basically, like like I said before, if you don't work hard, you will immediately fall off like the charts. Your like teachers will ignore you. Like teachers only focus on like the top students, like the smartest ones of all. So basically, let me tell you a story from my pediatric years. I was like 15, 14, 15 because I was like born at the end of the year, so I'm not exactly 15 at the time. It was like during the pediatric period, I had like competitions to join. I have no idea why I was active in co-curriculum during that time. Maybe I wasn't thinking straight. Plus, it was a very stressful year for me, which was terrible, like really terrible. I faced a lot of challenges in school that I won't mention because otherwise this would get too personal. And this one time my anxiety got so bad that I got physically sick. Like I couldn't walk without feeling faint. My head was spinning and turning around like it was pounding, and I was throwing up at this toilet and crying alone after that. And I couldn't eat anything for like hours. And I was really sleeping in class because I couldn't like somehow cope with that feeling. Like even back then, I used to get like panic attacks simply because of exams and such, which shows how bad my anxiety is. But honestly, nowadays, maybe because I'm getting older, like maybe it's just like kind of like, okay, that's how it is. That's just how the life of a student is. So it's like kind of like it or not, you have to face it. And when I'm like the other day, like I think it was early this week, like Wednesday, I had a physical test for the first time, like 1 year, because my last test was like physical test was during the SPM year. So basically like it's such a long time since I've been in an examination hall, and oh my god, the silence was killing me. I just finished as quickly as I could. I kept repeating to myself in my head, like, no matter how terrible something may be, it will end. Like there'll always be light at the end of the darkness. So like keep thinking like that way. Like no matter how terrible, like no matter like how challenging that time period you're going through, maybe it will end. Everything will always come to an end. So if you're like for me, like I get really, really like how to say this, I get very let me think, I cannot think of a word for this. Like I get very, you know, I just use the word, I get like terrible performance anxiety doing this. So like I just try to, get over with it as quickly as I can, because like honestly, anxiety is something that's unpredictable. One day it's probably not so bad, one day it's like really terrible and debilitating. So yeah, like it's not something easy to deal with, but trust me, if you have your own ways to cope. I cope with music and reading a lot, and I write too as well. And also your friends can help sometimes when it gets too much. Like I feel like sometimes I feel like I have like, and I don't deserve to be here. Like it's called imposter syndrome. It's another thing that anxiety causes, by the way. I would immediately talk to my friends who would reassure me. So like having friends are important too. Like you don't need to have a lot. Just small circle would do. Someone who can understand you without you having to say anything. So like yeah, I think that's about it that I have to say about anxiety. So yeah.
Wow, that was mesmerizing, I can say. Dealing with anxiety sure is not an easy thing, and I wish that everyone here can jot down some notes and start to think about how to deal with their anxiety, just like how our speakers did. Next, you guys met a lot of people, right? From same or different sections, classes, group assignments, and the list goes on. So, how do you handle or deal with conflict or difficult people?
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Faz, for that question. Now, Alhamdulillah, the people that I've met here in CFS IIUM have been the absolute best people. I've worked with in my group mates, like the best people. So I can't really say for sure how to deal with difficult or conflict. However, I think advice that I could give is number one is that you have to understand everyone comes from a different background. So everyone does not have the same mindset as you. So that's one thing you have to remember. And number two, you have to, and you can't expect your group mates or your classmates to have the same work ethics like you do. For that, once you understand that, at the same time, you set your own boundaries and you set your own ground rules when you have a group assignment to finish. Do not let them take advantage of your understanding towards them. So for in conclusion for that, communication is key. You have to talk it out with your group mates, and to if you're not satisfied with their work or you're not satisfied with the efficiency that they're working on, number one, understand them and see where they're coming from, but at the same time, set your boundaries. Like this is when we have to finish, so make sure you do your part and to not, for sure, to not let them be a free rider because nobody likes a free rider in group assignments. What about you, Sister Akira?
Thank you, Sister Maya. Alhamdulillah, I also didn't face problem like facing conflict lah. I won't call it a conflict, because like Sister Maya said before, everyone coming from different backgrounds. So macam time online class, or sekarang pun kalau kerja grouping tak ada lagi lah jumpa ahli yang macam tak bagi kerjasama, because I make sure that every time ada kerja group, I'm the one to reach out to them. Cari group tu sendiri awal-awal supaya macam tak tersalah pilih orang lah kan. Macam nak tahu orang ni boleh kerja dengan saya. Macam takut macam macam orang tu boleh terima cara kita. Macam maybe ada seorang macam tak berapa suka style dia orang lain sikit ke, tak tahu kan. So but I might say if you face conflict ataupun jumpa orang konflik lah senang cerita, just fahamkan balik macam mana benda konflik tu boleh berlaku, and kalau rasa macam tak tahu juga siapa salah dulu, dia ataupun awak, just minta maaf. Lepas tu kalau dekat sini kita nak buat kerja ke apa ke, jumpa kat kelas, just be professional. Jangan macam setiap kali jumpa je jeling-jeling, tak. Just buat macam kehidupan hidup seperti biasa. Yeah, I think that's all. Alhamdulillah, setakat tak ada problem.
I suppose it's my turn to speak now, huh? Well, believe it or not, maybe it's because like we've only been on campus for like 3 weeks or something, but trust me, I haven't encountered any problems yet. Well, maybe kids from my batch actually, that's good. But all I could say is like the main 3 things that you have to consider, like you have to remember always when you're like working in a group with people that you don't know, people that you are only just getting acquainted with and such, is communication, understanding, and tolerance. Like the 2 of them have actually explained about it before, but I'm just, so like we are all different people, we have different mindsets, we have different beliefs, we have different backgrounds, so basically not everyone will think the way you think, not everyone will like the same thing as you do, hate the same thing as you do. No one will work as hard as you or as lazy as you do. Depends on what kind of person they are, because all are created, all of us different from one another. Everyone has their flaws, everyone has their strengths. Why? Because we're meant to complement each other. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's how it is. We humans are like puzzle pieces. We're supposed to like put in the right pieces together, different pieces, nothing alike, but putting them so that you can like put them together correctly so that you can like form a beautiful image. That's just like the metaphor of it. But yeah, let's just say you're given a situation where you're working with a group that does not want to cooperate with you. Basically, communication, number 1. Reach out to them, ask them like, why are you doing your work? Why are you cooperating with me? Something like that is very important for you. It's like, watch your manners while doing this, of course, because you don't want to actually offend them. You just want to know, like, maybe they have some problems with the job task at hand. Maybe they just are slackers, free riders even. And then the next one is understanding. Like, when they actually reply, like, try to understand, like, like, oh, maybe they're busy part-time, maybe they have problems at home, financial issues, whatever. And the tolerance is like more like different. Of course, it's normal for you when you're working in a group to have like different opinions. Like maybe that was the Malay word for this, bercanggah, right? I think that's the word, bercanggah. So when these things like 2 ideas bercanggah, try to find like something, a third idea. That's what I always like to do. Like, because like if the both of, like, let's just say you and some other person are fighting about like who's right, I'm right, you're wrong, something like that, you keep fighting back and forth like some sort of like cliche Malay drama or something, you will never find an end to this problem. So basically, to deal with this swiftly and smoothly, just find like something, a third option that will actually like satisfy both parties. So that's really about it. That's all I have to say about this, really.
That was so nice and very professional of you guys to face many kinds of people. Thank you to each of you for participating actively in the Rise to the Challenge segment just now.
And then, without wasting our time, we will now commence the final segment of our program, which we call Just Ask. In this segment, you may raise your hand and turn on your microphone to manifest your passion in asking any question regarding the topic that we have covered along with the talk. Likewise, you can also type your question in the chat box. Our speakers will take a turn in answering your questions. If you would like a specific speaker to answer the question, please mention the speaker's name first, then the question, then the context. Sounds good? Yes. Thus, let's get right into it with our first question for the speakers.
Don't be shy to ask, guys. This is a safe space for student and student to just for us to
Seriously.
just share.
We don't bite. Let's just since like some of you guys are SPM university, let's just see like where your older siblings try to give you advice. Not some of them may not be the best advice, but we're trying. Okay, we're trying to help. We just want to like make sure you have a bright future up ahead. We're just trying to help you. Don't be shy. We don't bite. Seriously.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. So I have a question. So in I actually, how should I say this? So every time during online class, I am the one who always participate in class, but actually, I'm not really like that. I don't like to talk with people so much. So like whenever I interact with people, my social battery just drains, and I have to take some time for it to respect again. But then, going to campus and everything, how am I going to survive? I don't even know whether I can do it or not. So since you guys are in campus, so do you guys have any tips to make sure the social battery doesn't run out easily? Shazrina, please.
All right. Well, I have no idea why this question is targeted to me, but oh my. Okay. Social batteries and introvert. Wow. As an introvert, my social battery gets drained very easily. I almost embarrassed to say this, but I think I've been staying at home for way too long because of the pandemic. I barely go out and see friends and such. And even if I do go out, it's probably just follow up. It's like, oh my god, humans and their energy is like some of them are so overwhelming. Some of them just sucks the life out of you. So I don't really have ways to do this, but I have ways to cope with it. Like I like to, as an introvert, of course, I like to be alone. So like I try to limit my contact with people as much as possible. Like this does not mean that I avoid my friends or something. Like I talk to my friends. Like most of my friends are actually not even here, so most of the time it's just through texting, rather than face to face. I have a few roles in society, so most of the times most of us would agree to have like online meetings rather than physical meetings. Because physical meetings are just like tiring. I mean, as someone who is living in like a dorm room on the 5th floor, imagine the agony I go through every day, going up and down just to go meet people. Of course, it's something that I would do. So basically, if I ever go down, I would immediately like list down all the things I want to do. So like by the time I get back to my dorm room, that's it. I'm not leaving the dorm room for the rest of the day anymore. So that's really how I conserve my energy. And at night, I just have some me time. Like I read some books, novels because I'm addicted to books. I listen to loud music and ignore the rest of the world because I just turn up the volume and wow, everything's just amazing again. Or I even play video games like Valorant, Genshin Impact. That's really so charging. That's how it recharges my battery. But everyone has their own ways to recharge. So what you can do, Sister Alia, is like find your own ways on how you can recharge. Like maybe you like sewing, cooking, knitting, anything really. So like, yep. I hope this helps you. So
Okay, we have a question that sounds like this. What is the example of job that are offered in this major?
I think that has already been answered by our lecturers. Like, as an English student, you can go into many different fields, especially what's being focused a lot, like what our lecturer said just now was teaching TESOL. But for you guys to understand, the foundation in BANO program is not TESOL. However, if you want to continue TESOL, you can continue that in degree later on. But the job scope is really endless. And because English right now, as pocket as a under a band program, English is almost needed almost in every company. In every company, you need like copywriting, anything that has to do with writing, basically writing official documents, or also like journalism or communication, mass comm. So yeah, like our lecturer already mentioned, the job scope is endless.
There is one boy in our course that wants to be a mutawif, so he took bar course.
Honestly, I mean, like Asian culture, obviously, like Asian parents, they want you. Oh my, I want look at my daughter. She's pursuing medicine. My son is doing engineering, and everyone just looks up to like STEM subjects, like the subjects as anything to do with science. But really, let me tell you something. Of course, many Asian kids, because like of course Asians want it's an Asian thing for you to become a doctor or an engineer unless you want to get disowned by your family. So like as someone who is pursuing the arts class, basically I strayed so far from the path of like the dream Asian child pursuing sciences and stuff. So basically, um, someone is pursuing the arts class, right? Let me tell you some story I've heard before. Apparently, because my father works with a lot of doctors. He's not a doctor, but he works with doctors. I'm not gonna like tell you what his job exactly is. He heard the story from doctor once. Somehow like the doctor's friend is working at a pharmacy, right? One day in some random like bureau guy came into the pharmacy. I'm trying to like remember stories. Like this guy somehow this very haggardly looking guy was like could like somehow like look at the medicines and like able to specify like each of its functions, side effects, and such, even without the pharmacy explaining it to him. The pharmacist explaining it to him. So like, and then the pharmacist was puzzled and asked like, "What? Like, how could you know? I mean, you're just like some kind of like labor worker, something like that." And then the person was like, "Oh, I'm actually I took medicine in university, but there's no job opportunities from like where I'm from, so I'm here as a labor worker." So basically, if you think that you're taking like STEM courses, you'll be safe. No, trust me. Like I heard I have an engineer friend who works like offshore a lot. I mean, we play games together. So that's how I got to know him. He told me how like the engineers here, like there's a lot of engineers here, like with awesome qualifications, that they're clever and stuff, but they are severely underpaid in our country. That's why most people who actually like take engineering actually wouldn't stay in Malaysia. They would actually run out of Malaysia. So like if it like basically like since the Asian stereotype seems to like think of the dream Asian child as an engineer or doctor, please don't think that you are safe, because you are not. I mean, like maybe in other countries you could, but job opportunities in the STEM field is usually very limited. So like I'm not saying the STEM fields are bad. They're good, but it's just over time there's gonna be like so many doctors and engineers that there won't be like enough job opportunities for all of it. But if arts is a very broad field. You can take English and suddenly you can become a journalist, a news reporter, a book writer, a forensic linguist, like what Madam said just now. Just you can be anything you want, because it's kind of like broad field. So like I'm not discouraging you from taking STEM, but but at the same time it's kind of like I'm not exactly like shadowing it by saying that English is great and all. No, but just think of it carefully, because like I'm going to repeat my words like a broken cassette, but think of when you want to like choose your university major, just think, is it really something that you want to do for the rest of your life, or is it just something that you can do? So like think of your passion and job opportunities in the future. Basically, as long as you have an interest in it, inshallah you'll be okay. That's all for me. Yep.
Okay, I got a question from brother Shah Daniel. Assalam, hi Stefania. I would like to ask, do you cut off your connection with social media such as Instagram, FB, and etc. right after you pursue in this course? I do not actually cut off connection with my social media. I'm actually quite active in my social media after I pursue this course. I don't see the relation between cutting off social media. Is it because we're in a Islamic university? Tapi tak adalah. Macam biasa je. I use my social media as normally as I would do before I even pursue in this course. Thank you for the question.
Honestly, I just want to add on a bit. I've never been actually active on social media. Like in middle school or high school, in middle school, like lower form years, I was ridiculously active. I'm posting like 2 or 3 to 5 posts every day. Like I was super annoying back then when I was younger. But as I got older, I kind of just go off social media because like some of the things there are quite draining. So it's like it's not something that I just want to stay on for long. Plus, putting out too many things there, I'm just like I don't want people to know too much about my personal life. I just like when I got into IIM, I got like culture shock because like everyone requested for Instagram. I was like, okay, fine, but there's not a lot of posts there. And they were like, okay, sure. But the people I followed back, they posted every single second, every single minute of their life. And I'm here just like, am I doing things wrong? So your question does not make sense. Like cutting off social media, nah, I don't think so. It's not for the kids of my course in this university because like, oh my God, they post every single second, every single minute of their lives if they could. So it's like very lively in social media and such, so.
Okay, so we have another question here from NJ. I actually like 2 fields, which are law and TESOL or English, but I'm confused on which to choose and I'm scared if I'll make the wrong decision after SPM. Any tips? So let's hear what Sister Maya will say first.
Okay, so you're confused in choosing what? Law, English, or sorry, apa tadi?
Law and TESOL or English.
Okay. In my opinion, TESOL and English too, you can still think later on in degree because if you take foundation in English, you can still, have the entire 3 semester decide whether you nak pursue dengan TESOL ke you nak stay in English. So that's that can be decided later on once you get the feel of what English is all about. However, with law, I'm not sure. Actually, I think you can take foundation in English and then you could maybe in degree change to law because I'm not a law student, so I don't know. But the way to make your decision is to really do your own research. Ask your seniors if you have any seniors who major in law and they do their asasi or foundation in law. Tanya diorang, how is law like? The environment to study law, because as you all know, the stereotype budak law very busy memorizing and they're very outspoken people. But of course, that's just a stereotype je lah. So yeah, my opinion would just do your own research, ask people, and not just see what's online, but ask people who you know, if you know any seniors, their opinion on that particular course that you are interested in.
All right, so here I just have something to tell you, but you know how back then after SPM we had to apply for UPU, right? The website thingy, like which university you want to go, like which course you want to take. So basically, the science stream students stood in front of the choices. I was like, oh my goodness, there's courses for literally everything in this world, even for the things that I didn't think that you could study, like you could study this, and it's like, oh my goodness. So I remember putting English as my first choice. No, I put medicine as my first choice actually. And I put English. The third one was law. And then for the rest, the 3 other options, I simply just like mind hentam. I simply just like I blindfolded myself and threw darts. Basically, I think I put chemical engineering and com. I can't remember what I was the last one, but I'm sure it has something to do with engineering, which I'm actually pretty grateful that I didn't get engineering. I can't imagine doing numbers for the rest of my life. My goodness. So basically, I got English obviously, and I remember like when I first got English, my parents sat down with me and they were like, "Are you sure this is what you want to do for the rest of your life? I mean, you were a science student, you were very smart, sure." And I was like, I contemplated my choice. Like, of course, law. I mean, like I wasn't actually, despite being an introvert, I was actually very outspoken in high school. Like I still am outspoken and terribly blunt. So like it's not surprising if I were to take law, but it's honestly it's not exactly mine. I mean, like if I want to take law, I won't take it in Malaysia, you know, 'cause, like I have my own opinions that are somewhat controversial to Malaysian laws. Like if I were to take law, I would take it like not here, I would take it probably in overseas, you know. So like, and I have friends who are taking law and they were like like you the stereotype goes they are busy memorizing stuff, but they actually have fun, you know, they have mock debates and stuff. So like if you're a person who like look who are like stalking like locations and such, go for it. The most important thing like is that you do your research like what Maya said, and at the same time know what you're truly interested in. Like look at yourself in the mirror, ask your ancestors, like, oh my goodness, is this what I'm destined for? Something like that, you know. So basically just make sure that you know what you really want. Those people just like go for a course and you're like, oh my god, I regret this so much. But I just want to say that the English is the safest route between TESOL, English, and law. Because like from English you can go anywhere you want. For your degree, you can go, like she said, like Maya said, you can go to law, you can go to TESOL. So like when in doubt, it's just English at first, all right? But then you have to switch courses, which is kind of a hassle, but still just want to let you know you have a lot of options. So yeah.
All right. The last question is for Sister Akila. Sister, how much fun did I need to take course foundation in English and Arabic? Cheap or expensive? Please answer my question. I really want to know.
Ulang balik soalan. How much? Fine.
How much fun did I need to take course foundation in English and Arabic? Cheap or expensive?
English and Arabic. Arts, kalau ambil arts dekat UAE ni kira murah lagi lah daripada ambil science stream. Yes, tapi it depends. Sebabkan kalau nak tahu harga the exact. Seriously. Tak payah. Tapi yang pasti art stream lagi mudah daripada science stream. Dia tak beza pun. Dia asalkan macam bahasa. Kan kat UAE ada 2 stream kan, arts dengan science. So macam English, language and econs, law, semua tu bawa arts. So semua tu rasa dia punya fee sama je kan, kalau tak silap. Yeah. Lagipun kat sini kat UAE ada BKA. Ada macam for those yang layak untuk terima bantuan. Every sem dapat macam 600 lebih tak silap.
Yeah, there's a lot of financial assistance UIA offers, like BKA, bantuan kewangan asasi, and also zakat. So if you layak the what you call the qualifications, then inshallah you'll get it. Yeah, and it's really easy to get it as well.
BK have right here. Let me tell you, like with the financial help I get, I don't have to pay my like my admission fees, like I don't have to pay my dorm fees. All I need to prevent money is for like my belanja here, my pocket money here, like what I want to buy, what I want to eat. So like really I don't have to pay for anything, and I even get like pocket money from them, you know. So it's like my account money is kind of just like, ooh, money here, money there, money everywhere, streaming money. So like if you're worrying about the funds, like you don't need to worry. I mean, as for foundation, I guess I don't know if this still carries out into degree, but IUM has a way of helping the less fortunate students. So if you're like worried about it, don't fret. I'm sure you'll find a way to help you out as long as you have the qualifications and such, and you apply for them. Okay, that's
All right, thank you very much to our respective speakers for their interesting sharing and thoughts. I'm certain that everyone who asked the questions is satisfied with the answers, which hopefully can bring everyone the knowledge and skills we need as a student. My oh my, it is now 10:26 and the end of the Q&A session just now indicates the final part of tonight's event. So it seems like we already went through all of the segments and ran out of time, I can say, meaning that the event is already over. Time flies really fast when we are enjoying ourselves. But before that, what's the point of having fun if we don't capture the moment? So let's turn on our cameras, everyone, and show us your brightest smiles for the photography session.
Okay, so is everyone ready?
Wait, there is someone asking. Assalamualaikum Akak, sorry. Can you help me to ask this last question? As Dr. Ma'at had said just now, kita kena join juga skill-skill lain. Sebab kalau ada sijil profesional je, tak membantu untuk apply job. Maksudnya, boleh ambil course lain sebagai minor course ke? Ke macam mana? Sorry BM.
I think to take the other courses, the courses minor in courses, I think that one is later will be more explained in detail when we go in degree. Because in foundation, you're only allowed to take one. So foundation, for example, in English, foundation in English sahaja for the whole 3 semesters. However, in degree later on, you are able to choose additional subjects later in degree. So yeah. Everyone switch on your camera if you're comfortable.
Hi,
Switch
Hanis.
pictures.
My junior is here.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, again 1, 2, 3. Okay, next page. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next page, freestyle. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Brothers and sisters, you look simply gorgeous. As our photography session comes to an end, so does the night's event. On behalf of the Lens Society and CFSI-IUM, I'd like to express my gratitude to our 4 speakers for their time and for providing us with such valuable information, as well as to the students and teachers who kindly participated in our humble event tonight. As the master of the ceremony for tonight, I would like to apologize for any flaws that happened throughout today's program. By that, I shall now end our ceremony with Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Al-As. Thank you everyone. If time allows us, see you again next time, insyaAllah. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye everyone. Thank you for joining us. We hope that this talk is educational, can help you
Good luck in your results,
enlighten
everyone.
good luck for your SPM results. We wish you all the best and we hope to see you soon. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.